Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I have for you thrift flip or trash to treasure video, and I hope you will enjoy it. I also have a collaboration, but I'll tell you about it a little bit later. DIY number one. For this project, I purchased this frame, oval frame with beads hanger, and it was for $3.99. Yes, I know I got it a little bit cheaper because it was Great Tag Day. I don't remember exactly how much. So the first thing I'm going to do is peel off these erased parts that were, I don't know what was that. It was some kind of either paint or some kind of material. But anyway, there was erased parts of the leaves. I couldn't scrape it any other way except using my knife. And then on some parts, it peeled off the paper that was there, and on some parts it just I just cut it off. So I sanded it a little bit, and my original plan was to paint it with this gray chalk paint by Martha Stewart, and I thought everything would be nice, you know, chalk paint is thick, it's gonna cover it. So I gave it 2 coats. I dried it with my blow dryer, and then I like I said, gave it another coat. But honestly, it didn't work out. You could see every single bit of that you know, imperfection showing through, and I think the chalk paint kind of made it even worse. I thought of distressing it, but I thought it's just gonna make it look bad. So I wait one day, think what I want to do. So I'm showing you over here how you can see the imperfections, and I really didn't want that. So I'll tell you in just a minute what I'm going to do next, what I decided to do next. But the first thing, I'm going to take Rust-Oleum chalk paint in a linen white color, and I will paint the frame. So I went full coat on this frame. Actually, it took me 3 good coats. I dried it in between, and I made sure there's no imperfections. And with this chip brush from the Dollar Tree, and the way I was doing the strokes, it actually looked like a wood grain. So I really liked it. So when everything was done and dried, I am taking this vinyl. It has a beautiful texture looking pattern on it. I got it in a pack of 3 from Target Dollar Spot. It was $3, and I really like it. Now, it's not big enough to cover the whole thing, so I kind of try to move it around to see what will be the best thing. So I pressed it down, and that way I was able to see where I should cut it out. And then when I was done cutting it out, I just peeled it off and put it on. There's also another part on the bottom that I had to cut out and kind of align that pattern on it. So that's what I did. You'll see me over here going back and forth, peeling it off and putting it back on until it was completely perfect. But after I put it in a right spot, actually you couldn't even see that there was addition made. In the other corners, if there was a little bit space in between, that wasn't a problem, because underneath I actually put a little bit of white paint so you couldn't really see it. Now I'm taking these beads that actually came with it. I'm taking first 5 of them, and I'm hot gluing them together next to each other like I'm showing you over here. I'm actually creating handles. So after I'm done with these 2 sets of 5, then I'm going to take 2 more that I am going to attach on the bottom. So the first thing, I'm actually filling up these holes with the hot glue, and I am just adding a little more hot glue to attach these handles. I thought these handles turned out so cute. Before attaching the handles, I took Mod Podge and I went over the whole thing. So I went over the frame, and I also decided to go over this vinyl because I didn't want it to peel, and if I spill anything on it, it will be safe. Now, there is still a little bit that rougher surface showing through, but with this textured vinyl, it was not as visible, so I really like it. So now I'm using the handles, again, filling up the holes first with the hot glue, and then adding more hot glue and attaching them to the side. I know it looks crooked, but that's because of the position of my camera. Trust me, it is straight. Next, I'm taking 4 more of these beads, and I'm going to fill up the holes first. That way I know for sure the hot glue will stay. And then I am going to position them on 4 corners, or actually there's no corners, but like on 4 spots. And then I'm going to hot glue them. Again, I know from this camera angle it looks like they're not aligned, but I measured them and yes, they are. And after that, this project is done. I absolutely love this tray. You know how much I love trays. I always mention how much I love them, and anytime I can, I create a tray. But this one is so beautiful. I love every little detail on it. I love the handles, the legs. I love that it's oval shape. I don't have any oval trays, and I love that textured looking vinyl. I think it's so beautiful. And even those imperfections don't really bother me right now. When I put all my things on it, nobody will be able to notice. And this definitely goes into my house and it will be probably in my bathroom. I absolutely love it. I want to hear from you. What do you think about this project? Friends, today's video is in collaboration with my sweet dear friend Jackie over at Blessed Beyond Measure. She is super talented. If you like anything dollar store, thrift flip, trash to treasure, anything farmhouse, this is the place to be. You need to check her out and her channel. She's super sweet and extremely talented. You will not regret it. So go ahead and check out my description box for her channel. Visit her, tell her I sent her, and say hi to her. Make sure to stick around to her channel. You will love what you see. DIY number 2. So for this project, I am going to be using this door, a farmhouse looking door that I got from thrift store for $2.99. First thing, I took off everything off of it. I wanted to save this wreath and it was so hard to take off those staples, but I managed to do it. And then I took off the handle as well. Now I'm sanding those holes a little bit. And then I am going to use speckling, Dollar Tree speckling, to fill out those holes. Those holes were not really big, but I wanted to make sure they're filled out. And then when everything was dried, I actually sanded off a little bit. Now it's time to paint. I'm taking this same Rust-Oleum chalk paint in a linen white color, and I am giving this door a good coverage. So it took me again, I think 3 coats, and I dried it between the coats. I wanted to make sure everything stick nice. And look how beautiful it turned out. I like those brush strokes. They really look like a wood grain. So now I am gonna take these beads. Some of them are from the previous project, and I had 2 of my own wood beads, and I am going to paint those all with this ink chalk paint by Waverly. So first I'm painting this one. I was very careful. I didn't tape anything, and I really didn't have problems to go under and paint this one. Next I'm painting these 2 wood beads, the same color. And then when everything was dried, I aligned them on my door, making sure to space them out as best as I could. I really didn't measure anything. Now I am hot gluing them to the door, one at a time. And then after that, I am going to take the Dollar Tree speckling to fill out those holes on the bead, because the middle bead didn't have any holes, so I wanted to make them all look the same, and I really didn't like those holes showing up. So when everything was dried, I just took my fingers literally and took off excess. I didn't want to sand anything. And then I'm taking a mini sponge and the same ink chalk paint, and I am just touching it up, making sure to cover the speckling, white speckling. After that, when everything was dried, I'm taking Mod Podge and giving it one good coat. I wanted to protect all this because it is going to be a jewelry hanger, and I wanted to make sure it doesn't get scratched, and I wanted everything to stay protected. So I'm taking a little brush, and I'm also going around and on my knobs. And that's it for this project. I think it turned out very, Very elegant, super cute, but also it has that rustic farmhouse style because of the door. And this definitely goes into my house as well. Now I apologize for the background. This is we're still in a camper, and this is what I have right now. 2 more weeks, guys, 2 more weeks, and we're going to be in our house. But nevertheless, I love this project. I think it turned out so beautiful, but I want to hear what you guys think. If you're returning to my channel, I want to thank you for being here. Thank you for watching and commenting all my videos. It means so much to me. But if you're new, if you're coming from Jackie's channel, welcome. I'm Jelena. I love crafting and doing DIYs, and everything that I do has to be on a budget. If you like my what you see, make sure to stick around and click the subscribe button and notification bell on too, so you don't miss any of my future videos. Also, if you're on Instagram, Pinterest, or Facebook, make sure to look for me. Come and say hi. I would love to get to know you. I want to remind you that my regular upload times are Tuesdays and Fridays at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Unless there's any kind of change, they're still going to be the same time. Otherwise, I'll let you know in advance. DIY number 3. For this project, I'm using these embroidery hoops I got at my local America's thrift store. They were $2.99, and there's a screw missing on top. So I'm going to improvise. First, I'm going to straighten it out a little bit with my fingers and then with my pliers. And then I am using a hot glue and hold it until it sticks together. After that, I'm going to use this fine jute twine from the Dollar Tree. I add a little dab of hot glue on the bottom, and I'm starting to wrap it around next to each other. And then when I came to the middle where those two meet, I'm going to start crisscrossing it, and I needed a little bit of hot glue so it doesn't it does stay in place, and this way this will be more secured. And after that, I'm going on the other side and wrapping it all the way until the end. So when I was completely done wrapping it, I also did a little more wrapping around that middle part to secure it even more. I left the piece where the hole is because originally I thought I'm going to hang it, but I changed my mind. You'll see it later. Now I'm trying to find the middle. I mark it and I put a hot glue, and I hot glue both sides, bottom and the top. And this way this part is complete. Now I'm going on to this wood plaque. I believe this one was from the Dollar Tree, I'm not sure. And I'm going to give it a 1 coat of this folk art wood tint in a color gray. So I'm just taking a sponge brush, I'm giving it 1 coat, leaving it for around 10 seconds, and then I'm wiping it off. That gives it that beautiful gray wood grain color. Now, when it was almost dry, I'm taking this Rust-Oleum chalk paint in a linen white color and this chippy brush, and I am distressing it, let's say. This will make it more rustic, but also light it up a little bit, and I really like how it turned out. After that, I am going over the edges, and I am putting more paint and then just wiping it off because I didn't want that dark color of the edges to be there. Now I'm taking this brain teaser game from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to take only 2 of these. Now for this I had to do opposite. I had to add the paint first and then the tint, because they had some kind of glaze on top, so they were not raw wood and it wouldn't take the wood tint properly. At the end, everything really turned out very similar, so that was my goal. So after both of these are done, this is how they turned out. You see how very similar they look to that wood plaque. Now I'm trying to find the perfect spot to put this wood plaque, and I am again marking it where that will be. But before that, I added a little wood bead. I did the same thing when it comes to painting and staining it, and this is from the Dollar Tree, just medium size, and I'm going to put it on the bottom like so, and then I'm going to put hot glue on top of it, and that is what is going to hold essentially this wood plaque. If I was going to hot glue it to these hoops, it would be just a total mess. You could see, you would be able to see the glue. So now I'm taking this felt, sticky felt that's from the Dollar Tree. I cut out little pieces, and I'm gonna hot glue them on those square little things. And I also got one little piece to put it on the bottom. That way it will hold it nice and it's not going to scratch the surface. And now I'm putting these two on the marked places on the bottom. And now, since I decided not to hang it, I am going to go ahead and wrap this top part of this embroidery hoop just to make it nice and, finished. And that's it for this project. I wanted to make this as a centerpiece. I know I can put this candle. Of course, I'm not going to lit it up, but I can also put beautiful flowers. I think it looks so elegant, and with this bamboo color, it looks so modern. I hope you guys like this one. If you do, please give it a thumbs up. It means so much to me, and it helps my channel and video being promoted on YouTube. Share this video and subscribe if you're new. I would love to have you. I would like for you to tell me in the comments which one was your favorite, number 1, 2, or 3. Would you recreate any of these, and would you change anything? Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching and supporting me. And don't forget to go ahead and check out my description box for the link for Jackie's channel. I'm sure you guys are going to love her. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!
Relationships is complicated. You say